first start thinking about skateboarding, it seems pretty simple. Just four wheels, a plank of wood, and anything with a little bit of stable ground to get you going and having fun. But when one really considers the visual and cultural aspects of skateboarding and how it affected us, there's a lot more to think about than you would first imagine. Cinema was not very popular when it started out. It was a bunch of jerry-rigged materials and low-grade technologies. As the technology advances and the way of presentation became more complex, many more people began to enjoy the cinema. The same goes for skateboarding. When skateboarding began, it was not televised or commercialized. Most of the things being ridden were home-built, just stuck together by a few pieces and odds and ends found in mom and dad's garage. As the technology and the complexity of the sport began to increase, so did the fan base, and pro skaters like Stacy Peralta put out television shows that aired
welcome
weekly.
to Weekend Today. We're going to find out on today's show why protein may not be good in your dog's diet, and why that old sack food may in fact be better than the new gourmet canned food you can get at the store. And we're going to take an exciting look at skateboarding. When I was a kid, we used to take an old roller skate apart and nail it on a 2x4. But nowadays, you can walk into a sporting goods store or a drugstore and buy one of these. This is a skateboard.
That's not a skateboard.
Some neighborhood daredevils.
We're going to do a little adjusting here.
Right here on Weekend Today.
Now this is a skateboard.
Skateboarding was getting really big. There were contests going on worldwide, a couple movies and video games had been released on the subject, and every child in the world wanted the newest skateboard deck. I think this got even bigger when Tony Hawk landed the very first 900 at X Games 5 in San Francisco.
#1 recognizable sports figure over Shaq, over Iverson, over MJ even.
I just focus on something and I have to do it. I'll either get hurt, taken to the hospital trying it, or I'm going to make it. And that was the same for doing 900 at the X Games. It was my time to finally do it or to be carted off and try it another day.
Last try right here, Tony Hawk 900.
At some point, you just tune everything out and you say, this is it. You got to do it.
The ground swell. I wasn't sure if it was an earthquake or somebody out there doing something special. That moment was probably burned in most of our minds forever.
Something happened after Tony did the 900. When he did the 900, he just took, obviously, the X Games to a whole nother place.
My idol, my savior, God.
The world of skateboarding literally took off after that moment. So many different skateboard decks and wheels and t-shirts and tech decks and video games and movies came out. It was almost unimaginable. When you stop thinking about the contests and the fame and the best board and get down to the roots of it, you find out what skateboarding is really about. And truly, it's just about having a little bit of fun. You can find everything at your local skate park. From an inline skater, to a fellow filmer, to whatever that is. When it's not filled with hundreds of people, the skateboard is a really fun and friendly place. No one's being too aggressive, everyone's really friendly, and we don't mind a couple visitors every now and then. Most of the time in the travels to your skate park, there's normally at least one good guy there with a couple cool tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah!
skateboard park can truly provide endless hours of fun and exercise, but there comes to be a point when you just get tired and get one too many followers, or maybe too many followers. You start falling, start getting loose, and when something like this happens, you know it's time to pack it up and head home. The best and safest way to practice your skateboarding skills and progress is on good old flat ground. Most professional skateboarders today are riding this, what we call the trick deck. There's also something called a longboard, which is a lot longer of a deck with bigger wheels so you can go faster and get over things. My favorite skate to ride is something called the hybrid, a mixture of both. The larger size in the skateboard deck, as well as the larger size in the wheels and the axles, make these boards really fun to ride. It stays stable at high speeds and lets you do some really nice big carves that almost make you feel like you're surfing. These boards are super easy to ride, whether you're a beginner, riding barefoot, 1 foot, or hey, maybe even no feet. You're gonna have a good time. If there's cracks in the roads, your big wheels will help you get over it. It's easy to push, and it keeps its speed. Now back to the real skateboard. Any skate shop you go to in California will have at least 100 of these up on their wall, with a whole bunch of different colors and graphics for you to customize it out. These boards are fun, but their small wheel size can easily get caught up in the road or even the tiniest little pinecone fragment and cause a really hard fall. Fortunately, they're really easy to throw around and you can land some really cool tricks, even if you're not that good. All fun aside, skateboarding has truly done a lot for the world that we live in today. Not only has it made a huge presence in the visual culture, but it has also created a wide variety of jobs for anyone from the media and business side of things. Producers started realizing that a skateboard contest could sell at an arena much the same that a concert could. Thousands of kids would travel cross-country to watch some of the best skateboarders compete and duke it out, judged by other professionals of the industry. There are literally thousands of skateboard companies at this point, and each one has a different variety of artists working for them to create the new art for their skateboard decks and clothes. And although Tony Hawk no longer skates professionally, he is still a huge part of the sport. Tony Hawk has released more than 10 different video games, has his own clothing and skateboard company, and speaks out for skateboarding constantly. It is Tony Hawk that truly commercialized skateboarding, brought it into the real world, and created the transmedia aspects of it that we all love so much today. I think it's safe to say that had it not been for skateboarding and the impact that it made on our visual culture, we might find ourselves watching something a whole lot less interesting on the X Games.